Look at that. It looks so good. I think I was breathing a little bit hard. I was like, as I looked down, I was like, look how cute. Sometimes I get excited and I breathe hard. I'm like, this is amazing. Welcome to Rustic Joyful Food. I am Danielle Kartes, and today's a very special episode for two reasons. We're making a gorgeous cocktail, and we're gonna do a cordial. I know you've heard of a cordial because I know you've heard of liqueur. But really the most important part of this entire episode is our partnership with Knutson Farms, which is a family-owned, multi-generation, incredible farm in the Sumner Valley of Washington. And let me tell you, they make the most special rhubarb, tulips, pumpkins, you name it. These people are magical. They work tirelessly to just bring us beauty. First thing up is a cordial. FLORESCENCE. This is my grapefruit and pomelo vodka that we do locally with Heritage Distilling. It's absolutely delicious. You can order them online. But this is the thing. So there's different grades of rhubarb. And right now we are using delicate rhubarb, which is the stuff that goes to restaurants. And I mean, it's so pretty. You don't find this in the grocery store. Very, very special, but you can order it online. So this is the little delicate fancy grade rhubarb. There's fancy, extra fancy, all kinds of good stuff. And we're gonna go ahead and fill our jar up. You can use any jar. Let me lift it up so we're not making a ton of noise. I'm like, okay, boom, there it all goes. You could also just keep it in this, but I mean, we really needed to see me transfer it. Then you're gonna top him with sugar. The recipe for this is gonna be on the website because I'm just gonna be putting in multiple tablespoons until it looks good. So we're gonna cover this bad boy with sugar. And now you can do this a couple of different ways. If you're using a flavored vodka, this has sugar in it, but it's all natural and wonderful. You would use less sugar, but if you're using just like a natural straight vodka, you could use more sugar. And then we're gonna tap them down a little bit. Shake, shake, shake. And look how cute that is. Like, I just feel like they look like little sweet tarts. And this is actually kind of cool. If you've never had rhubarb before, imagine if celery and a green apple and a strawberry had a baby. That's really the texture. It's juicy and fruity and fun. It almost has like this sort of sweet tart starbursty flavor. It's awesome. It's gonna be really good with the citrus. So we're gonna glug this in. Look at that. All the way up to the top. And then you're gonna put this in a cool, dark area for like 4 to 6 weeks. We're gonna shake them up. And I would shake it for the first few days, you wanna shake them up because what's gonna happen is the sugar is just gonna sit on the edge. And if you do this for 7 days, it's gonna be delicious. If you do this for 3 months, it's gonna be delicious. The thing to remember is it does discolor a little bit, and I'll get my sort of jinkety one this has been steeping for a year because I put them in a closet. It does turn sort of brown. So if you do let it go this long, the flavor is incredible. And I open this, it smells like heaven. But it does get darker the longer you let it sit. So I do have some pretty, and we're gonna make sort of like a cross between a mimosa and a Bellini with my bubbly low for French for water. So set this aside, and then I've got a pretty one that's already done. So look at it, it's got this sort of like almost amber orangey color, beautiful liqueur. So we're gonna open this up, and don't be nervous, don't be scared. Get yourself a kitchen towel, take the cage off, and you just gently rock it back and forth because we're not nervous, we're brave. Sometimes I get a little nervous. Come on, bud. Like, don't do this to me on camera. Like, come on. I am trying. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Joel, you're so brave. Oh, okay. And that part, look right here. The little tiny, it looks like smoke, but it's not. It's gorgeous. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a little bit of our rhubarb liqueur and put it in the bottom. And then we're gonna top it with our sparkling. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. And the sparkling has like these strawberry notes and apricot. It's not sweet. It's so good, the sparkling rosé, and then boom. You have to add the little pomegranate seeds. Oh, they smell a touch fermented. And then we're gonna top off. Look at them, they like dance around as you pour the So cute. Okay, so now I have myself a little cocktail to get into the next part of it, but that's a cordial. Make yourself a cordial. It doesn't have to be rhubarb. It can be lemons. It can be grapefruit. It can be strawberries. It can be blackberries. It can be apple. Get some vodka, top it with a little bit of sugar, let it go, and you've got yourself like this gorgeous cocktail base. I mean, honestly, this is special. Here, Lucy, have it. So I love a galette, which is basically just a pie without a dish. So if you think of a pie, you've got a top crust and a bottom crust. Well, this is really special because it's a free form pie, and they're messy and a little bit wonky, but they look so rustic and beautiful. And we're also putting Frangipane in the middle. Frangipane is literally God's gift to the world. It's almond flour that you mix with egg, sugar, and a little heavy cream, and it just makes that delicious, like you get it in all kinds of French pastries. First thing we're gonna do is make our pastry. So I got some flour already in my handy dandy KitchenAid, and I've had this KitchenAid since I got married, which is really fun. And one year he totally died, and then I almost got rid of it, but I was looking for like a little appliance fixer person, and I turned it back on and it worked again. He just needed a break. So I think we can all probably really relate. Sometimes you poop out a little bit and then you just literally need a break. So we're gonna grind that butter up. We're gonna add a little bit of sugar to the pastry, just a touch. And this recipe is actually in my book, Butter, Flour, Sugar, Joy. And I love rhubarb. And I love Knutson Farms. So we actually had an opportunity to visit the farm. We went on a very foggy, beautiful morning, 2 days before Christmas, and it was actually really magical. It's pretty cool. Enjoy.
I've been here forever. I was born in a house just across the road here, about 1,000 feet or less away. My dad was a foreman on the farm. My mom worked here. Well, my dad came out of the Dust Bowl. My dad and mom did in 1939. Like the Grapes Wrath, everything they owned was in a broken down car or when they got here, and they just came with absolutely nothing.
How old is she?
She turned 4 last April.
Oh, she's still a baby. She's still little.
It's my wife's dog. In days past, we was large in daffodils. Bulbs is a primary crop, flowers is a byproduct, same with tulips and iris. So we started doing more in rhubarb, and in 1993, it fit for us, and I was selling it to some of the same people, brokers. So it took off pretty quick. So we increased that over the years, and that's how we got in the rhubarb business. I don't know where I got to be where I am. It just evolved over time, and I've been blessed by a lot of people who have been around. Oh,
So thank you so much for visiting with me today. Thank you for showing me all of your legacy and your beautiful farm. This is always so special, and I just can't wait to continue what we've been doing and to cook with your rhubarb. And the neat thing is for you guys, you can order rhubarb wherever you are, all over the country. From January to October, you can get this man's beautiful rhubarb in your kitchen.
thank you very much for coming out.
Absolutely.
We enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
This is almost ready. And so in goes our ice water. And I actually like a little bit more water than average folks. I don't mind if there's extra moisture content in there. I think that pastry is way more forgiving than people give it credit for. I also don't think that it has to be so dusty. I've seen people take it in this form and turn it out. I feel like when it's clumping together, it's ready to go. A little bit more water. Here he goes. Whenever the mixer starts to have a hard time, it's almost ready. There he is, and boom, we're done. We'll lift up this little dude. And you've got all this pretty crust, and put him onto our plastic wrap. And this is what it's supposed to look like. And I forgot some salt, so don't be afraid. I also like salted butter. And then you fold up and smoosh them around, fold them up, bring all the corners in. This is what I like to do. Then I twist it, and then I shape him into a little round. Look at that. And then you let this little dude hang out in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes overnight. I mean, anytime. Look at that. And I just kind of work the corners a little bit, not really kneading. And then there's your disc. And I already have some magically chilled. Next up, we're gonna make the Frangipane. So this is actually really fun. This makes me feel very fancy. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get a cup of almond flour. The recipe for this is online. Little sugar. Let's see, a little bit more sugar. A little bit more sugar. And then we're gonna do, ooh, I like the cute little egg, our anthropology eggs as we like to call them. My girlfriend Angie's chickens lay the cutest eggs. Oh, and I'm gonna open this up like, I don't know how. Boom. That's perfect. And a little bit of flour. You use the flour as a thickener in here. And then we're gonna do vanilla and almond. So go a little almond first. Oh, that's so much almond. You know what? Did you hear everybody go, that's a lot of almond extract. This is gonna be strong. It's gonna be strong, but we can handle it. This is straight old school grandma style vanilla. It's just pure vodka and vanilla beans. So this little shoot and match is loaded. And then we like to squirt a little bit of the gorgeous pulp out of the vanilla bean. Then we just pop it right back in to my gorgeous mason jar. And a little heavy cream. This is the Frangipane of our dreams. We're gonna mix them all up. You want this on the thick side. And you know what? I mean, we did add like a really large amount of almond, but it doesn't smell too crazy. It actually still smells, it smells wonderful. Oh, it smells like a little sweet grandma. Little sweet flesh grandma. Okay, move him over. Finish mixing. You can even do like a little lemon zest in this. That's kind of fun and bright. Not traditional, but very delicious. All right, so your rhubarbs have a top and a bottom. And I wonder if you know this. This is kind of fun. When you're picking rhubarb, you don't cut it off. You actually just twist and pull, so you get the entire stalk and leaf. So this little portion, it's edible, but sometimes I'll clean up just a little bit, so I like to line it up. And these little ones are not cooperating. Line them up, clean it off. And you can keep these scraps for your cordial. You can feed them to your chickens if you have them. But I'm just gonna slice up this pretty rhubarb into nice quarter-sized chunks. So there's our filling. First thing we're gonna do is add a little sugar. And I'm just gonna eyeball this. The perfect recipe is online, don't you worry. And then we're gonna do some flour. And the flour acts as a thickening agent. And believe it or not, there's a lot of water in rhubarb. So we're gonna do this, so cute. Add a little salt because a little salt belongs in everything. This recipe is in my book, Butter, Flour, Sugar, Joy. And the neat part about that book is I wrote it specifically for people who aren't technical, precise bakers. Like I don't think I'm technical or precise about anything in my life. And I think that sometimes can make a really good cook. And so I like to do things that are out of the ordinary. I gotta think outside the box. And we don't need to add any liquid into this, because the sugar and the flour is actually gonna activate and start to draw moisture out, which is kind of cool. Now you see this transformation where the rhubarb is actually, the moisture's coming out of the rhubarb, it's starting to grab onto all the flour and the sugar particles. And then there's still a little bit in the bottom. Don't you worry about that. We're gonna sprinkle that right on top. You need more sugar than you think because rhubarb is actually wildly tart. You can actually just dip it in sugar and chew on it. That's kind of fun. Kids like to do that right out of the field. Kids and old people, you know, they're very similar. But this is ready for our pastry to get rolled out. We're actually gonna take a little bit of flour. We're moving this little dude out of the way. A little bit of flour directly down on the board. Make a little circle. And I like to take some right back up off the board. And you sort of just want it like nice and dusty. Look at that. Dust the whole pastry. And this has been out of the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. Otherwise, I just don't think it's that delicate. I mean, I don't think we need to be that serious. Some people are like, keep it super ice cold, but that's absolutely not me. I don't think you have to. I have just been rolling the pastry out. You can do this as thin as you'd like. You want it to be at least 1/8 of an inch. And I just keep rotating. And look this is wonky. It does not have to be perfect. If it stays in more of a square shape, that's just fine. Fold him in half. Fold him in half again. Look at that. So now you've got this cute triangle. You lay your crust down, unfold him, work him over this way, and unfold him again. And look at that. So now you've got this really great little surface. We're gonna work in the middle. We're gonna add our Frangipane. We're gonna put down a good amount. And you're gonna have about this much left. That's gonna make you 4, maybe 2 very chubby croissants, 4 that are on a diet, but I would go for the chubbies. They are more fun. And you wanna leave probably a good 4 inches around the entire outside, because what's gonna happen, there's so much butter in this little dude, it's gonna really spread. And then we're gonna take our rhubarb filling, and as he's been sitting, it's been absorbing more of the sugar, and we're just gonna pour it right in the center. Let me do it this way so you guys can see. Look at that. And then don't be afraid to just pour that sugar right on top. And it's okay that this is messy. You're gonna tuck all these little guys in, press them down a little bit. So what I like to do now is I wanna fold it up. So I put one little fold over, and it's almost like the little diaper game. Then you're gonna make sure that there's a crease, because what you wanna do is create as much juice from running out of the pastry. So fold them up like this, fold them over, and then you continue to make this really pretty star and have got this pattern that goes all the way around. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. I actually got a really bad review on one of my books. Somebody said something like, I didn't show you how to crimp the pie, I just said crimp the edges. But this is the thing, I just want you to crimp the edges. I don't want it to be so picture perfect. So the review was like, she didn't even tell us how to crimp the edges, she just said crimp them. Unprofessional. And I was like, I got a news flash. I'm not a professional. I just happen to really love cooking, and I want you to cook too. I mean, I'm pretty good at it, but that's neither here nor there, how good I am. I just want you to cook. And I want you to not be so hard on yourself. I feel like there's enough pressure in this world and life already. And look at, even over here on the back side, these are a little bit wonky. We got multiple folds over here. It's all okay. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful. And when this bakes, it's so beautiful. First, let's tuck some butter in. This is important. You wanna put more butter all over the top, but I'm gonna take my little egg wash. And what is an egg wash? It's literally just a beaten egg. Sometimes people put a little extra water in there. Don't have to worry about that today. We want it a little bit thicker. And what this does is this is gonna create sort of like this beautiful golden crust. If you don't wanna do it, you 100% don't have to. This is where you can take a little sugar and just sort of sprinkle it on top of the egg wash. And this is gonna bubble up and just create that perfect little bite, like when you're having coffee in the morning and nobody's bothering you. And it's just you and your coffee and the birds. Maybe you're reading a book. Maybe you're spending some time with the Lord and your pie. You gotta pull your pants up. Okay, this is gonna go in the oven until it's done. Listen, all of your ovens, they're gonna bake completely differently. Some of your ovens are gonna swing 50 degrees. I got news for you. You can put a thermometer inside and get really precious with it, but you just don't have to. At least 30 minutes, that's when you're gonna start checking. You're gonna be watching this from all over the country. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, it's very rainy and drizzly and dreary, especially in the fall. This is gonna bake longer than it does in more of a dry climate. If you're out near, in Southern California in San Bernardino County, you're gonna be baking this for a little bit less. I mean, so you really just have to take into account multiple things and just watch it and check the website. So this is gonna go in. That's perfect. Boom. This little guy's been baking for quite a while, but look at how gorgeous. We have this beautiful bottom crust. Look at, I always like to show everybody, look at that. It's so perfect. And we were not delicate. After it comes out of the oven, sometimes it can look a little dull. You can serve it just like this, but I bought this marmalade strictly for the label because I think it's so cute. And no, they're not sponsoring, but I think it's adorable. And what I'm gonna do is just brush, but I'm gonna put a little bit on top, not too much because we don't want it to overpower. And then I'm gonna brush it around just to sort of gloss it up a little bit on the edges because it's just cute. And then this is the thing, that'll make it take a gorgeous picture or just look a little bit more appetizing. Look how cute. We're just gonna pop this over here and then slice them up. And I feel like we need Kendra. I've been trying to get Kendra on camera for a very long time. Kendra actually made this, so I feel like she should come out, Kendra. And we also commandeered a cocktail for you.
Even better.
Somebody might have been drinking it, but it's okay. The alcohol kills everything. I'm gonna slice one for me and one for you. You wanna do the honors and put a little ice cream on there? We'll dip it a little bit into the bottom and then we'll taste. Doesn't that feel good? It's so tart. and amazing from the rhubarb. But then the Frangipane just tastes like Christmas. It's like a little gift and also springtime at the same time. Big thank you to Knutson Farms. Visit them year round for every single type of activity for your family, from the spring bloom to the pumpkin patch that's going on in October. Christmas time, you can get Christmas trees. I mean, they really are just the most wonderful people, so check them out. Thank you for visiting with me and Kendra. Get over here, my very dear friend. Thank you for being a part of Rustic Joyful Food, and we will catch you on the next episode.